Good morning, and welcome to This Week in Phenomenal-ness. Just had to take a moment to center myself, so if you're watching the video, you're probably like, what is she doing? Just centering myself. First of all, I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July and a great, week leading into this week's Road to Success. And being the CEO of I Am, because that's really where it starts, right? You have to be the master of yourself before you can really go out and master other things in life. And some people say, oh, mastering yourself takes a lifetime, but I think it's a state of mind, and I think it's an intention, and if you put that intention forward and you act as if, then you shall be, and that's truly the statement. If you act as if, you shall be. Just to kind of recap what we went through last week. So last week it was about setting goals and having fun. So in setting goals, I kind of had some revelations about setting goals. So, let's just take a moment here now that, we have a couple people here to just center ourselves and open our hearts and our minds and our beings and connect with Mother Earth and, connect with the universe and Father Earth and just really welcome in the energy of what we're about to embark on over this next week, because I really do feel like it's a state of consciousness, and it really builds, and it's like anything. I study a faith called Ekankar, and in Ekankar we do satsangs monthly, where with satsangs you're really taking part in a consciousness, and it brings forth these experiences in your life so that you can move forward. So it's like a tool bag. So let's just kind of first center ourselves and open our hearts and just welcome in this energy, this new energy that we're about to embark on. So if you can just close your eyes and you can take a deep breath and place your attention on something that you love, whether it's a dog or, a piece of jewelry or a family member, and just think about them and let your heart center just open to that. Breathe that out. Just see that love and that light in your body, and welcome back. Okay, so so last week was about goal setting, and I realized as I went back and I looked at my journal for the past couple of years, and especially like my journal where I set goals from the past couple of months, or I set goals for the whole year. It's really interesting because they can get away. Well, they got away from me, and if I look back over the years of reading my journals, they kind of get away from me. I lay out these grandiose things that I want to happen, which are great, and everything is attainable, and and we can manifest them. But I really feel like I really wanted to kind of take a step back this week and really look at goal setting and really like put forth some things that really would help that, because I feel like just writing out a bunch of goals that you want to accomplish are great, but where's the action behind that? Yes, when you put things out in the universe, they come to fruition in their time, depending on how much time and effort and energy you've put on that, those goals. So I feel like revisiting the whole idea of goals a little bit deeper this week will help us drop in further to our road to success. And, I'm definitely the CEO of I Am, so I want to be the best that I can be as being a CEO, because it's an interesting job that we embark on in this life as soul. So, last week was really about looking at that bottom line 1% and living your best mindset and sitting down and revisiting all the things that we set out as goals for ourselves years before, realizing that we are at a different place in life and we've matured and we've grown in our experience. And so our goals may not match where we are now. And it was interesting because I looked at some of the goals that I had, and while I accomplished some of them were just so huge that I didn't accomplish them. And maybe I accomplished bits and pieces of them, but I didn't accomplish the overall thing that I think that I was going for and what I was trying to achieve. I'm definitely on the road to that, but I want to drill down on that now so that I can make those goals even more impactful in my life. And, the other thing that last week brought forth with the Debbie Ford experience, because we like to look at Debbie Ford every week, or I like to look at Debbie Ford every week, and I think it's a great tool, is the whole idea of having fun. And if you remember this card, and I'm going to bring it closer and in front of my face, having fun, and it was all about assessing your assignment was your self-love. So with that being said, the oh yeah, and just so you know, if you are on and you want to communicate with me, there's two ways to communicate with me. One, through the Facebook wall, where the Ustream is broadcasting right now, and two, where, let's go to it so I can make sure that I'm there with anybody who wants to log in and communicate. And then also, if you click on the Ustream link that I put in the actual feed for the invite, or on the Phenomenal Girl page, if you click on that and you go to the actual Phenomenal Girl page inside of Ustream, when you are there, next to the video, there's like a widget that says you know, weekly, or it says something like weekly and then social. If you click on social, it'll ask you to log in through Facebook, and as soon as you log in through Facebook, you're logged into the actual live stream, and you're able to actually start chatting and commenting with me right there. So, and if somebody needs more direction, please feel free to text me. Most of you are my friends and know my phone number. I won't say it online because this does go live, period, afterwards, for anybody to be able to watch. But you're also able to text me and ask me a question, or you know, like I said, Facebook in the Ustream here on Facebook. So yeah. So the other thing was having fun. So I set out a goal for myself and having fun, because I really felt like I didn't want to like go like hog wild and just like write all of these goals that I just, you know, were for the sake of writing goals, because I was kind of how I felt when I really looked at the whole thing of goal setting. So I set this goal for myself that I was going to have fun getting 250 votes for the Chase Living Social competition for my business, and I was going to make sure that everybody on my team had fun doing it with me, because it's, you know, you're asking people for their support. So you can become a nag sometimes when you're asking people, especially when you're excited about something and everybody else is not really as excited as you are, because it's your thing and not theirs. So you're trying to figure out how to make it exciting. So, you know, last week I talked about the intern. So I found some interns, and what I did was I gave them tasks. I said, in order for me to see what your social media skills are like, because I'm bringing them on for social media, I said, I need for you guys, before you get to the interview with me, which was actually on Monday this past week, of this week, you know, before you get to the interview, I want you to use your social media skills, and I want you to help me get to 250 votes, so that I could see how well their writing skills were, their connecting with people were, their commenting was. Just really wanted to see how socially active they were. So that was really fun, because I engaged them in like being a part of like the whole consciousness of like getting this 250 votes, and, you know, getting people talking about dot studios and dot films and like what we're doing. So that was really cool. And then, you know, I found myself like doing things like, you know, my partners and myself made it a competition where we were all like texting back and forth, like, I'm talking to this person and I'm talking to this person and I just texted these people and I Facebooked these people. So, you know, it became like a joke where we were like making jokes with each other the whole time we were doing it, and it was so much fun. And then, you know, we got to like, we found other people commenting back on the threads on Facebook, you know, and everybody was, you know, engaged, and people were like, come on people, it only takes 2 seconds and just do this. And other people like, I can't find it. And other people like, not even us, were responding back, and it's just like this like groundswell of like love just was like bursting out of the whole experience. And, you know, then I realized, okay, well, I need to like take it to the streets now, because we're still behind on votes, and we only had 2.5 days to get 250 votes, mind you, over a month-long competition, because we didn't find out until the last 250 days, or the last 2.5 days, not 250 days. And so I decided I was going to print out little fortune cookies that basically said, please help our startup, you know, Chase and Living Social, go here, log in, vote for dot films, type in dot films and click vote, you know. And then the quote at the bottom was, Mama always said, if you don't use your mouth, you'll never know. And that was kind of like the fortune of the day. So I got on the bus, I took the train in North Hollywood, I hit the streets, I went down to the W Hotel, I went up Vine, you know, I walked around, I went to Starbucks, I went to Panera, I went in and talked to people, and I was handing out candy as an incentive, which actually was really a lot of fun, because people were like really engaged. They were like, okay. And then after they said okay, I said, do you want some candy? And they were like, now you're making it worth it. So it really like made life fun for me in that day, and over like actually 2.5 days. And the time just went by so fast that like I looked up and I was like, oh my God, it's done, and we got the votes, and thank you. So, you know, that was a really cool goal in having fun. And thank you, Debbie Ford, for that. And then some other really fun things, you know, when you set that fun out in the universe, people actually like respond in ways that you don't even realize. Like, not everybody is privy to what you're doing on like a verbal level, but like on like a higher plane level, on like a whole other kind of consciousness level, people are definitely feeling each other and connected to each other. And the way it showed up for me, like me just saying that I wanted to have fun, and setting forth that goal of like going out with my business and having fun, brought forth these other areas of my life that I didn't even like place attention on. And, one of my girlfriends on 4th of July called me and is like, I couldn't think of a better 4th of July morning than to spend it with my friends. And so she came and she took Joe and myself out for breakfast. And it was such a blessing because it was so unexpected. And again, that's the whole idea of being in wonderment and waking up every day wondering, I wonder what today's going to be like. And it was super cool. And then, later that day, a girlfriend and her husband were like, would you guys come over and hang out for 4th of July? It's not no big party or anything, but just, how you guys come over and hang out. And they cooked dinner for us. And then yesterday, another girlfriend and her husband cooked dinner for us. And it's just like, it was just like an outpouring of love, and it really just helped me to like stay true to this whole idea of having fun this week. And the week has gone by like so fast that I wouldn't even have realized it. So here we are at the beginning, what I like to look at as the beginning, Friday, that day of love and meditation and contemplation, and, really placing your yourself on like the spiritual good in the world, and within yourself, whether you're Christian or you're Buddhist or you're Ekist or you're Kabbalistic, whatever you are. I'm shaking the table. The whole idea is that today is a day of like kind of that mental fast and like placing your attention on like a collective consciousness. So in that, this week I really wanted to kind of look a little bit deeper at like the whole idea of setting goals. So I want to drill down on how to master our time around setting goals, because setting goals is one thing, and those are kind of feel like those things where it's like broad and big and you just write them down and then you walk away from them and surrender them. But let's kind of look at the whole idea of mastering our time so that the goals that we set forth are attainable. So I'm just going to read a couple of things that I jotted down that I feel like are important. So number one, carry a schedule and record all of your thoughts, conversations, and activities for the week. The way I think that's the best way to do it, so if you have an iPhone or you have a smartphone, there is a voice recorder that you can actually record your thoughts and your conversations and your activities, and as well as Dragon Dictation. So Dragon Dictation is a free app, as well as your actual recorder app that comes with your iPhone. And if you're on an Android, I'm not really sure, but I'm sure there's like recorder voice, things that you can use to like just kind of record your thoughts and the activities so that you can like really capture them be in the moment with them. So this will help you to understand how much you can get done during the course of a day, where your precious moments are going, basically. So where the time that you're spending is going, and you'll see how much time is actually spent producing results and how much time is wasted on unproductive thoughts, conversations, and actions. So it's like not just recording it on your phone, but also kind of like recording your thoughts and your activities as kind of like things to do in a day. So like grab a daily calendar. I use my iPhone calendar, and I kind of set out throughout the day the things that I need to get done. It sends me alerts. It keeps me moving forward in a momentum. Like, okay, for an hour, I'm going to work on making calls. For an hour, I'm going to take time out for myself and go to the gym. For an hour, I'm going to, work on this presentation, so that I'm really like holding myself to a task so that I don't get stuck sitting in front of the computer doing the same thing for like 4 hours at a time. Okay, for the next hour, I'm going to work on emails. So here's the other thing. So an activity or conversation that's important to your success should have a time assigned to it. To-do lists get longer and longer, and that's what I find. Like, I'll start at night before I go to bed, and I'll write out all those to-dos, and then I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh yeah, and I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this. And before you know it, my to-do list gets so long that by the end of the day, I'm like, okay, well, I didn't accomplish those things. I got to move those things over to the next day, and they get added to the whole pile of stuff that I need to do the next day. So I really feel like the things that you want to attain in a day, you need to schedule the time for and use your like time apps, your calendar apps. Give yourself reminders, set alerts. Those are really important, and those will kind of help you really like break down those things that you're working on as goals and could be considered to-dos, and make them more attainable. Like, I'm going to accomplish this in an hour. And it actually feels really good, and it opens up the universe to allow you to have that forward momentum of making things more relevant and making things like more attainable in life, because you're actually like challenging yourself in like little buckets as opposed to like a big goal that like, takes you a long time to achieve because it's just so it seems so monstrositous, or is that, I don't even know, I'm not sure if that's a word, but it seems like such a monstrosity. And, sometimes those goals end up taking a while longer. So, again, it's important to your success. You should have time assigned to the things that you want to accomplish. A to-do list gets longer and longer to the point where they're unworkable. Appointment books, schedule time with yourself, create time blocks, so schedule appointments with yourself and create time blocks for high priority thoughts, conversations, and actions. Schedule when they will begin and end. Again, using that kind of whole like your calendar. And discipline to keep these appointments. So keep the appointments with yourself the same way you keep an appointment with a doctor or a dentist. Keep your appointments with yourself. So then the other thing is plan to spend at least 50% of your time engaged in thought, activities, and conversations that produce the most results. So what are the things that are going to produce the most thoughts for you? The activities and the conversations that you would like to see that achieve those goals for you. Very attainable and super simple if you give yourself a scheduled time limit on those things. So here's the other thing we don't really think about. Schedule time for interruptions. So allow yourself the opportunity and plan time to be pulled away from what you're doing. Take, for instance, the concept of having office hours. Isn't office hours another way of saying planned interruptions? Because the whole idea of being in an office is people are coming in and out, they're asking you questions, people want to like collaborate with you, they want to, like just water cooler time. So plan time for interruptions. Say, okay, between this time with what I'm doing, I can allow some interruptions in. Even if you're a mom, you're planning your day out with your child, at this point in the day, we're going to allow for interruptions in what we're doing. I have to, allow for the time where the phone, I'm going to answer it, I'm going to answer emails, I'm going to chat with people online, I'm going to Facebook, people can chat with me. These are all things, and I'm sure you can find a lot more other things that you'd like to do. Oh, hi. I just saw a hi. Hello. This week we're talking about drilling down deeper on the whole idea of goal setting. Last week was about goal setting, and it was really about setting out like those big goals. And after I really looked at those big goals and how I could have fun in setting out those big goals, I really realized that I needed to like schedule and time manage those goals to make them more attainable. So I'm just kind of going over what those things are now in dropping down deeper into our goal setting and making them things that are like a part of, when you think about your to-do list on a daily basis. I really wanted to kind of drill down on like the tool. How tall are you? I'm tall enough. So that's somebody chatting with me there. I guess they're probably not interested in the conversation of setting goals and more so finding out a little more about me. So, hey, it's all good either way. A little bit more about planning to spend the time. Here's another goal. So after you schedule some time for interruptions, take the first 30 minutes of every day to plan your day. That's what I did this morning. I do it on Fridays. I'm going to actually start applying it to my everyday. So take the first 30 minutes of every day to plan out your day. And don't start your day until you complete your time plan. And your time plan should be something that's laid out in your schedule so that it actually helps you with the whole idea of attaining those goals and making them buckets, like little things that you can actually do every day. It gives you a sense of routine, of discipline. It invites, that success that you're looking for in your life. The other thing, so take 5 minutes before every call and task to decide what results you want to obtain. So if you're calling people and you're in business and you're saying, okay, I've got to make so many calls today, a designated amount of calls, before each one of those calls, really sit down and think about what is the outcome that I want to come out of this. It's the same thing I talked about last week in like using the little people or using the atoms of you and sending them out before you have the conversation to like really set the tone for how that conversation is going to go. So I'm talking about goal setting if you're there, and this is just about really, somebody just asked me in the Ustream, what are we talking about? We're talking about goal setting and how to really achieve those goal setting as we're on our road to success. And we're really exploring the CEO of I Am, which is you, the CEO of your life, and how you can attain, mastership in this life. So, or success. And, that's what the road to success is all about. So, like I was saying, so take 5 minutes to set goal, or like set a goal of what you want the actual conversation that you're going to get into, or the actual task that you're going to get into, and what the results you want to attain would be. This will help you to know what success looks like before you start, which is actually super cool, because when you get on a phone call and you're trying to manifest something, the whole idea of knowing what the end looks like and the success of that looks like is kind of cool to be able to, it's kind of cool to be able to really like set that up as something for yourself that you can see, see into the future. And we actually can. So here's another thing. Put up a do not disturb sign when you absolutely have to get work done. And I'm culprit for that. I will answer my phone. I will answer an email. I will answer all kinds of things in the middle of what I'm doing, because I want everybody to know that I'm accessible, because I want to make sure that we keep moving forward as a business, which sometimes isn't good because I'm not taking time out for myself and I'm not giving 100% to what I need to do. So the other things, block out distractions like Facebook or other forms of social media. Some people may find this hard unless you use these tools to generate business. So it's always good to schedule time out for Facebook, which is, we all probably know, and some of us are better at it than others. And remind yourself that it's impossible to get everything done. Also remember that odds are good that 20% of your thoughts, conversation, and activities produce 80% of your result. So if you really take time every day and schedule out the things that you want to do, you'll see really good results. And it only is 20% of the actual, it's 20% of what you actually schedule out will produce 80% of those results. So in this week, the last thing I want to follow up on is our road to the best years of your life with Debbie Ford, which I super, super love. She's super, super awesome. And a girlfriend of mine, Mel, actually sent me some really cool stuff on Debbie Ford recently. And it was actually really cool to see that the card that I pulled out, because it's a series of cards. I'm going to pull one out. Was in alignment with what Debbie Ford was publishing that week. And that was the whole idea of looking at the dark shadows and finding light in them. So, and then last week was about having fun. So this week is about intercepting self-sabotage. So that's what this week is about. I'm just going to read it. When we're not producing the results that we say we want to, we can be sure that we are self-sabotaging ourselves somewhere. Self-sabotaging is an indication that we are punishing ourselves for something and not treating ourselves with worth, special, and important, or importance. If you find yourself making choices that either consciously or unconsciously derail you from attaining your desired goals, so here we are with goals again this week, if you know of things you should be doing and time again you don't do them, if you say you are committed to outcome and your actions reflect you're not committed to another, the remedy is simple. Self-love is the antidote for self-sabotage. I'm going to put this online, by the way. So here's the activity this week. So outside of, the whole idea of taking the time with our goals to be able to like schedule them out and use our calendar, Debbie Ford falls into alignment. It's all about looking at the self-sabotage in that. So this is kind of cool because now we get to really assess where we're having success with our goal setting and using our calendar and really assigning time for ourselves, which I'm going to put it all up so that you have a roadmap to it. This week, examine each area of your life and identify your self-sabotaging behaviors. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what am I punishing myself for? Then identify an action step you can take this week that will support you in forging or forgiving yourself for that. In addition, take a moment to answer these questions before you make choices that could lead you in the wrong direction. 1. Would someone who loves themselves make this choice? 2. Is this action an expression of someone who feels worthy of having everything they desire? 3. Is this act of self-love Or is this an act of self-sabotage? Pretty super cool for this week. So I invite you all, this was a really long one, it was 25 minutes or getting longer. I invite you all to just welcome in this new energy this week of drilling down deeper into our goal setting and really time managing our days and our actions and looking at where we self sabotage in all of that. Because I think that's super important and that's only going to bring forth more success on your road to success because you are the CEO of I Am. And I just want to close it up this week with closing your eyes and welcoming in this new energy of Father, Mother, Earth, creator of all that is. And just place your attention on something that you truly love. And take a deep breath. Release it. And go out and be the phenomenal you that you are. So, in this week in Phenomenal-ness, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and have a great week. Please feel free to, get into a conversation on Facebook with me. Let me know how your week's going. Ask questions. I will post this information, and have a great weekend. Talk to you ladies soon. See you next Friday. Peace out.